So you able to see the Raymond Morataya fight before that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Raymond Mortal, he knocked that boy out. That was good. You know what I mean? It was like good publicity. You know what I mean? He knocked the guy out. He had a tough time with Farmer, which black guys and slick guys, and like I say, Tevin Farmer was a well-schooled guy. He been on the road. He been through a lot, so he was a veteran in there. Very skillful, very defensive. So you know, uh, and sometimes they don't make you look the best, but he got the win. And then he got a guy that a little more tailor made for him, more like Styles make fights, and made short work of him. Was good. Now, I didn't like the way his right hand seemed like he could step in a little bit more with his right hand, and I was kind of worried was he gonna finish him at first, but he did step in, and like I say, they positioning him for the championship for the IBF, as you can see. You know, yeah. So good stuff to him. I think that's the vacant title was a good fight. I was thinking him and Keyshawn for real, low key was gonna be for that title, but but I guess they gonna go their separate ways. They gonna get this guy. Maybe Keyshawn gonna get the WBO champ, and this guy they lining him up for the IBF, which is what I mean, in-house fights, all good in-house fights. And you don't knock your young stars off. You understand? You don't
You
put your
spread
young
them out.
stars together. Yeah,
You spread
yeah, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So shout out to
chestnut checkers. Top
Muratai.
rank. Yeah, and Top Rank doing their thing. All right, so do you feel like Morataya is like obviously he's like that one fight away from
Yeah.
championship title contention? Do you feel like his skills and his development has do you feel like he can compete with those guys? Does he make it competitive, or watching the Tevin Farmer fight kind of showed you more layers to him as far as not necessarily being who Robert Garcia says he is.
Well, like I say, Tevin Farmer, them type of guys, they can make you look real bad. Those guys, they spoilers. And so that's just what it is. That's our whole. I would say. Hold on, let me sound good. I would think it's an underlying thing. Blacks gonna get tired. Either you go to Mexican, if they Mexican and black, the black usually gonna get tired. So you might have to take some punches in between to get to him, but eventually he gonna get tired. You know what I'm saying? But he gonna be crafty. You know what I'm saying? And we know with him, necessarily you gonna be able to hit him, but is you gonna be able to hurt him enough to keep him off of you? You know what I'm saying? So, just with those styles make fights. I think Moritai he good. I see he only got 22 fights, and I think he could use a little bit more seasoning. I kind of put him and Zapata together for some odd reason. They kind of remind you, like I think, they remind me of one another for some odd reason, and maybe because they both those guys, the Mexican guys outside of the black guys. You know what I mean? That's vying for the title or just right there. So, but yeah, Zapata got like 30 some fights. And this kid got 22 fights. But Top Rank is a good. They do great matchmaking, and so like I say, it's a good division. He looked good, and he made a statement last night, so that keeps him in the race.
That's right. That's right. Speaking of William Cepeda, they're gonna be like you said, fighting Tevin Farmer, and that's gonna be in Saudi Arabia as well. So those
Oh, so
guys,
say, yeah, okay, yeah.
yeah. So those guys are they're actually on their way over there tomorrow. Um,
When
but
when is the fight?
the fight's in like in a couple weeks.
Oh, that's nice. Well, that's good because Tevin Farmer just came off that fight, so you know what I mean. For him to get back in the ring, he might be a little bit more sharper. Now, boy, a little bit more in a different way, but I think Morataya more measured as a Peta. He's a buzzsaw, so that's gonna be a whole different thing. But with him being just coming off a fight, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Like I say, keep that kid busy. Yeah.
So going into that main event with Shaki and Conceicao, tell me, do you feel like the right man won? People were saying it was also controversial as well.
Yes. Yes.
Justin
And
has been
Shockey
served
Foster. Yes. No, I thought Shockey Foster lost the fight.
the first one.
I thought Shockey no, this fight last night. I thought Shockey Foster lost the fight. I thought the first fight he won clear as day. It was so easy. He boxed him so easy. Now, Conceicao, he was definitely motivated this time, and he came out and he fought. He was kicking a boy's ass. He was catching him, like they say, when Shockey Foster was going back, he was stepping straight back in a straight line, and he kept that hand tucked in that Mayweather position, that shoulder roll position, and he really couldn't do much with it. And one of the commentators said something about it. Timothy Bradley, I'm sure, because Bernard Osuna is trash. He is terrible. Is that whoever the guy that was with him or whatever? He was terrible. His whole commentary was terrible. But like I say, so yeah, he kept stepping back and he couldn't use that jab like he he stepping, that was his only defense as far as that. Uh, when a boy was stepping back, he was stepping back countering and was catching. Even if he wasn't hitting him all the time, he was throwing punches and he was landing them punches, man. He was walking Shockey Foster into stuff, and Shockey Foster, he disappointed me in a way that like like uh the first fight was so convincing. He walked him so easy. It was so easy the first time, so easy. So I don't know if he was thinking that it was gonna be that easy again, and he was just gonna like just step it up. And but that guy came to fight. You know what I mean? He came to fight this time. He was sharp. You could tell he was sharp this time. He was sharp, and so he just so then when the kid started to tire, okay, I like the way his corner was telling him what to do. His corner was doing good, decent, except they wasn't imploring him to go to the body. That's what drove me so nuts. When you see a guy gassing and you step into him, you have your hands up, you catch, you counter, and you go to the body. You go downstairs and back upstairs. You everything you're doing is you countering to the body. When you see a guy gassing, you keep catching him. You use the jab to blind him, and you touch him to the body. You
Yeah,
go
stop.
downstairs and back upstairs.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that, and he should. I think uh, like I say, I seen them banging. They did squabble a couple of times. They was exchanging, and I think in that exchange, I felt like he was been a stronger fighter, being that kid was fading, and he was the body was he could have exchanged and hurt him to the body, but he didn't do that. He didn't do that, and he never changed his level, his jab. He always stayed high. He always stayed tall. He never changed levels with his jab. So it's some things he could work on that he could have did that he needs to work on. Period, as a fighter, I think. And in that particular fight, I feel like he could have just stepped to him and went to the body and stopped him.
Mm, mm. Tell me, what do you think is the two major differences as far as performance wise? I mean, Shaki was saying that I want to show you something different in this fight. What different do you think that was? And do you? It seems to me that that different is probably why you feel like he lost the fight.
He didn't do nothing, man. He didn't look as good as he did in that first fight. He didn't look as good. Like I
Do you
say,
feel
I
like
didn't
he
think he looked
utilized the
bad.
ring a little bit more the first fight?
It just was so easy the first time he boxed him. Probably, yeah, he utilized the ring, and I don't know why they kept saying dumbass talking about come forward. The guy is coming forward. No, Shockey Foster controlled that fight, the first fight. He was never rushed. He was never hurried. He boxed him so easy. It was so easy the first fight. This fight, oh boy, came to fight. He was coming after him. And then when he was on the back foot, he was still punching. So this guy came to fight. I just feel like, man, he could have stepped on the gas and he could have hurt him to the body a little bit more and stepped to him and he was almost like sparring too. Like I really want to watch the fight with somebody and we can watch it and I can show you. He was rolling, he was throwing that little light right counter right hand, but it wasn't like he never come back with the hook. It was always just this. Like you sparring. It's just this is just it. It was never no power on it. It was never no different torque. It was always just He never come with the uppercut with it. It was always just this. His sometimes his like he say Timothy Bradley showed a film of him up top of where they was looking below on that, looking down on him, and he throwing these little light puff powder puff punches, you know what I mean? Blast that man, he was just like he was sparring, bro, and so some of them things like some at some point it would seem like he was sparring, and he drove me nuts in the corner because he kept talking about, man, he know how to hold, and he just was so nonchalant in the corner, and I didn't like that. I felt I'm listening to him in the corner, and he talking to the man just like, yeah, he holding, and he know how to hold, and he not imploring, he not have no urgency to go try to hurt the man. Like he didn't show no. Usually in a fight like that, you want to put the hurt on the man. He didn't try to put no hurt on that man. He didn't try to put no hurt on that man. Now they gave him the title. They gave him the title back, which I guess is right because he really boxed the daylights out of him the first time, but he didn't show nothing in that fight, man. And I didn't want to come down on him, and I'm trying not to say too much negative things about him. But like I say, I wasn't impressed with the fight. Like I say, he's a good boxer. I think he got a lot of good skills, but wasn't no urgency on nothing. He didn't have no he didn't have no step it up. He didn't have no change of rhythm. The tempo was the same. He never upped the tempo. He never, you know what I mean? So it's just levels to it. And Shockey Foster a good fighter, but like I said, it was controversial, and the fact I thought oh boy won for real.
How'd you have it? Like how'd you have it scored?
I would have said it the way they said it, 15-13. I know Shock did pull away with some rounds, but in the last rounds he wasn't doing it. No boy was hitting him. My boy was counter punching him. He wasn't doing enough, man. My boy was tired, dead in the water, but he was still firing. A boy was just happy just to jump back. I hate that just jump back and look at him. Then I seen him catching him looking at him too many times, staring at him too much instead of going to work. So yeah, but you know, yeah, so that, I think that going on forward, he deserved those fights. Let's see what he could do. Top rank. Let's unify those titles at 130. We haven't had an undisputed champion at 130. Let's get those guys together. Whether it be Navarrete, whoever win out of, because they kept Mel from them. They kept Jamel from Burchell, and they kept him from Valdez. They kept Mel from them guys. So let's just see. If the guy he's a slick boxer and he's the tough Mexican fighter. Put them together. They both got titles. You know what I'm saying? Let's just see. That's what I hope. So I hope the best to him, though.
You know, they talked about a trilogy. Do you want to see a trilogy?
I
And
wouldn't
who?
mind I wouldn't mind a trilogy. I wouldn't mind a trilogy because, like I say, I like Shockey Foster. He boxed good. The fight was so easy. You feel me? He boxed him so easy because they said the first time he shouldn't even be talked about. The shit shouldn't even be talked about. Shockey should have been, ready for somebody else to. This could have been a good fight that a guy we didn't even know. You know what I mean? Just he could just showcase fight. You know what I mean? But it was Conceicao, a gold medalist. You know what I mean? A two-time world title challenger, and never really been blew out so bad. And it was a good. It was a good thing. So the way he came back, I wouldn't mind seeing it again on an undercard type of fight, not as a main event fight, but as an undercard type of fight. You know what I mean? The opener in that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I definitely think it was unfinished business, and maybe like I say, we could see somebody else. Maybe he can have better conditioning and outbox him and do a little better. Can say so, or maybe he can realize that he got this guy's number and he can step to him and stop him to the body.
So at the end of the fight, they were talking about he wants to look at the winner of Oscar Valdez and Conceicao. How do you
Yeah.
feel like his style matches up with the two Mexican styles?
Would never at you never at. Like I say, he's a slick boxer, but styles make fights. I think he'll wash Valdez for sure. I think he'll wash Valdez. I favor Shockey Foster over both of them. I favor Shockey Foster over both of them. So the way Navarrete been looking, he haven't been looking good at 30 or when his last fight at 35. But so I would favor Shockey Foster over both of them, and I would like to see him become a unified champ. That'll be all right. I don't know who the at 30. This is 30. That'll be WBO and only be WBO and WBC. No, WBO and WBC because Shockey WBC, he the
Yep.
WBO. Uh, the IBF is I don't know who the IBF 30-pound champion is, and who the WBA 130-pound champion is. I don't even know who that is. Oh, Lamont Roach.
Mount Roach, yeah.
Roach is 30, so he about to he going up there and fight Tank. So yeah, that'll be a nice unification fight, in-house fight. And Shockey Foster, he for all of what he done and being a boxer, how hard it is, man, hell, he deserved that unification fight. So I hope he get it.
Mm, mm. Um, do you feel like he could be the undisputed champion at 130 pounds, or do you feel like you favor somebody else in that division?
No, 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 no. Except Raymond Ford. Now you got Ford coming back. Ford about to fight. So you got Ford
Fi-
coming in there,
Fighting on
and
the
Ford gonna be
push
getting a
card.
shot. Yeah, he gonna be getting a shot at that title. Somehow he gonna be getting a shot at that title. Depend on how bad Tank do Lamont. See, because Lamont might be sitting out, depending on if Ford come through, and Lamont might be sitting out a little bit on injury list or something like that before he can make a title defense on that WBA title. But like I said, yeah, I think Shockey Foster is a good fighter in that fight. There's some good boxers, but they gotta mix it up and gotta be entertaining and use their athletic ability to make the fights more entertaining. To draw a crowd and to gain some notoriety. You know what I mean? They guys they got a lot of talent. All of them. They got good skills and speed and style, but you got to put it up together. We're gonna have to amp it up just a little bit. To get the notoriety and get the big fights and to get people noticing.
Do you favor him against Navarrete, even with that lengthy style that
Yeah, because
Navarrete has?
Navarrete too slow and predictable. Shockey Foster gonna eat him up. And Valdez, he too slow, he too little and too slow. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah.
he gonna piece him up. Shockey Foster, he gonna, I don't know what it was about him. He maybe, like I say, I want to say this. I feel like he probably was too cocky a little bit and took this guy a little bit light and didn't think this guy was gonna come with that vigor. He probably was thinking too highly of himself too much. He probably was thinking that. He trained hard because I believe he trained hard, but he probably was thinking he was gonna watch this guy. He thought he was gonna sit out there and stare at this dude and box him like. But when that dude came to fight and he showed that, he said, "Oh shoot." Conceicao showed a lot in that fight. He did good. He was kind of awkward and a little sloppy, but he held up. And I thought he won the fight, man. I thought he outpointed that guy, man. I thought he showed he really wanted the title, and boy didn't show that he really wanted the title. I didn't think so.